As an older millennial, I remember the times when therapy appointments were discussed in hushed tones and feelings of depression or anxiety were just swept under the rug. But now, mental health awareness and discussions surrounding it are everywhere, in memes, on TikTok, across social media. So what changed? I spoke to 4 mental health experts about whether this is all Gen Z and millennials doing. And if so, what can we learn from them?
We can learn a lot from Gen Z when it comes to talking about mental health. They are the first generation that have, I'm going to use the word, embraced looking at mental health as being as critical a part of health as your physical health.
You know, I had someone who was pretty open about saying to friends like, hey, I have to go, I have a therapy appointment, I have to go see my psychiatrist. It sort of just struck me because I sort of haven't heard that language or someone talking about that from older folks.
To be able to openly talk about it, to understand our feelings, to understand what's going on inside, can help us connect and build deeper relationships with one another. And I think in this day and age, it's so important.
Every day, I think that Gen Zs and millennials in particular have really flipped the script, and mental health is no longer seen as something that's taboo.
Here are 4 reasons why attitudes and openness about mental health are changing. Number 1, the creation of the mental health vertical in social media and memes.
I think TikTok actually helps with this. It's making creators a lot more vulnerable, or you just a lot more raw and open with your audience about vulnerabilities, about the things that you're going through as a human.
Number 2, the rise of openness about mental health in pop culture.
Movies, TV shows, sort of depicting mental health treatment, I think also makes it sort of more common, and people aren't feeling it as this sort of taboo, this sort of invisible illness that no one talks about, but it really is sort of pervasive in our culture and depicted in a lot of different ways.
Number 3 comes with a caveat. Yes, technology has increased access to mental health information and services, but, and it's a big but, we still have a significant shortage of mental health resources in this country.
There is no wrong door to enter for help. Be it through calling a helpline, be it through videoing for help, be it for talking to somebody in person at your school, potentially at your workplace.
So people have free access to education that's typically daily education. Like I'll post 1 to 2 times a day, and if you can't afford therapy or if there's not a specialist in your area, you get resources literally right at your fingertips.
And number 4, the cool factor of seeking mental health care.
And I think Gen Z they just get it. And they're willing to go places, they're willing to talk about it, they're willing to share about it. And yeah, I think it's definitely in vogue to talk about mental health now. Sometimes a little bit overly so.
It's something positive, it's something healthy, and it's a green flag. You know, I'm dating right now, and if I'm dating someone who's going to therapy, massive green flag, biggest green flag for sure. So I think now we've kind of flipped the script where it's healthy, it's cool, it's something to do, and you don't have to be massively sick. And I say that because I think sometimes older generations thought you have to be crazy, you have to be experiencing schizophrenia to go to therapy. Now it's just if you want to work on yourself, if you want to explore things, healthy people go to therapy too.
But can these attitudes really trickle upward to older generations? Our experts are hopeful.
I honestly think that it will trickle up, and I think that it already has. I mean, I get clients in my office who found me on Instagram who are 65, 70 years old, and they didn't know that there was a name for what they were experiencing, and they get help. You know, older people are on Instagram, older people are on TikTok, it's hilarious, and I think then, these generations are gonna become the older generations, and it's just gonna be a lot more normalized all around.
We won't stop the stigma of mental health unless we all talk about it. So I want to share with you all. I have a therapist, and I will continue to work on my mental health and on myself because there's no shame in that.